And thanks for joining us. Private legal practitioner and NPP activist Henry Nanabuache is challenging persons who say members of the Delta Force assaulted the Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator to provide evidence to back their claims. He revealed the Attorney General advised that assault charges against the 13 members of the pro-NPP group are dropped for lack of evidence. The 13 were charged with assault on a public officer, conspiracy to assault a public officer, and unlawful entry after a video emerged of them forcing the security coordinator out of his office. These charges have been dropped, and fresh charges of rioting have been slapped on them. Nanabuache was in the Kumasi Court with them and explained the name of the game is evidence.
The 4 other charges, the reason was that it appears they don't have any evidence to back it. They lack the needed evidence. So obviously, if your claims cannot be supported by the needed evidence in court, then certainly you may have to drop it because you don't have evidence to back it. So for rerouting, I'm very, very sure maybe the prosecutor may have some evidence to support it. That is the more reason why they dropped it, because, you know, we kept saying it because I remember the lawyer kept saying that it appears even in court, the prosecutor never presented before the law court any evidence which can warrant or which can sustain those charges slapped. So what happened was they had to now send the docket back to the Attorney General. And you see, it is tried law that all criminal prosecutions are to be conducted by the Attorney General's office. But those powers can be delegated. And those powers were delegated to the police. And that has always been the norm. So in matters like this, when the Attorney General calls for the docket, it is only incumbent and then subsequently gives an advice. You are supposed to move according to that advice. You cannot deviate from that advice.
Because the police prosecutor is acting on a delegated power from the Attorney General's office.
Exactly. So that is the more reason why you are any advice that comes, you must hold it. That is it. So
a lot of concern is being raised that these Delta Force gentlemen are being let off on the hook because of their political affiliation.
Frankly speaking, I will not hide the fact that they are NPP people. And I've said it. I'm on record to have stated that they are people we work with, and I know them. I dine with them, I move with them, they are my friends. We are not condoning the act. And for us, we have always been saying that what happened that day was very unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened. We have condemned it. They have had brushes with the law. The law must work. But we are in a country where rule of law must also be upheld. And that is why I'm saying that even if you, Daniel, if you are taken to court and we don't have any evidence to back our claims, certainly the court, because the name of the game in the law court is evidence. And on this matter, I'm not sure we are letting them go, because once you have been slapped with another charge of routing, it does not suggest to me that you have been left off the hook. No.
But rioting, you would admit, is a lighter charge than what they were being charged with initially.
No, I agree. That is why I said it's a misdemeanor. But whatever charges that were pressed against them initially, if you have evidence, you bring it, because we were saying that the prosecutor don't have evidence to that effect. And we saw the video, and at the point, even when the security coordinator fell, it was not because of the actions of these Delta forces, no. And people also brought in some blood, but the blood was totally different, because the man never had any bruises whatsoever that could bring out any blood.
But they enter a security installation as sensitive as the Regional Coordinating Council. They manhandle an appointee of the president, and they are let off on a misdemeanor.
I think it is alleged. Or you should.
Allegedly, well.
So that is what I'm saying. Once you're unable to prove it, it still remains.
We had them on tape.
No, that is what I'm saying. On tape, when you really critically, and when you, in a very detailed manner, you go into the tape, you realize that some of the things that people were saying were seriously exaggerated. And for me, routing is is an appropriate charge, because in routing you can hold somebody, you can manhandle somebody, but if you have evidence to the effect that they had perpetrated a grievous offense, then I think you should bring evidence. That is what we are saying. So nobody is letting them off the hook, no.